Hey guys, it's Gaijin Hunter. A lot of you guys have been asking me to cover a topic that's considered a little bit more advanced than the ones that I've been covering recently, so this video is just for you. Today I want to talk to you about attack up effect stacking. Now before you watch this video, if you don't know what a base raw attack value means, I encourage you to go and watch the How Damage is Calculated video that I made, and I'll put a link for that in the description for this video. Now as you know, there are several items and skills in this game that boost your raw attack. Some of them stack and some of them don't. In this video I will explain to you how the stacking works and how the grouping of the effects work as well. The rules are really simple. If two effects are in different groups, they'll stack. If they're part of the same group, they won't stack, and only the most powerful one will take effect. Let's take a moment to quickly go over the groups and also a review on what the actual effect is. Now Group A consists of only the Power Charm. This is the item that you can buy at the shops throughout the different villages in the game. Just having this thing in your item pouch when you go out into the field will raise your base attack by 6. That's not something to laugh at. You should always make room to put the Power Charm in your bag. Now in this video I'm using a longsword which has a calculation base of 3.3. So when I say an increase of base plus 6, that's 3.3 times 6, which is 19.8. Now because the way the game treats decimal points, it's going to be in an increase of 19. So I'm going to go ahead and put, I have 891 attack now, I'm going to go put the Power Charm into my item pouch and see what happens. And there we go, our attack now is 910. Now Group B is the Power Talon, and to make that all you need is a Devil Joe Talon and a Power Charm. Combine those two together and you get this item, so you should definitely be doing this once you hit high rank. So we're going to go in here and on top of the Power Charm we're going to put the Power Talon, and now look, we have 940. 891 to 940 is nothing to laugh at, and that's only 2 slots in your item pouch, so I really recommend that you always take these two along, as well as the defense ones as well. Now Group C is a little bit more complicated. For this one we have the Demon Drug, which raises your base by 5 until you die once. The Mega Demon Drug, which raises your base by 7 until you die. And then all the different feline skills. So if you go to the canteen or the outside kitchen and you eat, you'll notice that it says attack up S, M, or L. These will increase your attack by either 3, 5, or 7. Now if you notice, the attack of Feline Large is 7, and same is a Mega Demon Drug. So if you already have activated that Feline Meal skill, then taking a Mega Demon Drug is absolutely pointless because you're not going to get any bonus. Okay, to demonstrate, let's go ahead and have a meal, and this is going to give us the Feline Meal skill of Attack Up Large, which is going to raise our base by 7. And there we go, we got Attack Up. So if we look, our status is now 963. It's a pretty good number to start at. So let's go on a quest and let's go take a Demon Drug or a Mega Demon Drug and see if we get any effect. We shouldn't, because they're part of the same group and we already have the maximum bonus for that group, which is base plus 7. So we're going to take a Demon Drug, which is base plus 5 until you die, and it does nothing because again, we're already at base plus 7. And a Mega Demon Drug, which is base plus 7 until you die, and we get nothing as well. So as you see, it's totally pointless. Okay, to demonstrate how they override each other, here we are without any meal skills at all. So we have an attack power shown on the screen of 940. We're going to go ahead and drink a Demon Drug, which gives you base plus 5 until you die. So we go from 940, we're going to go ahead and drink it now, to 957. Now the Mega Demon Drug gives you base plus 7, so that's 2 more than this one. So if we take it, it will override it, but it won't stack. So we'll get an additional plus 2 raw over that. So it goes up to 963, so it's not a horribly big increase. So if you have both items, it's kind of pointless and wasteful to drink them both. Okay, now let's look at Group D, because this is where it gets a little interesting. We have the Might Seed, which is plentiful and everyone has a bunch of them. This raises your base by 10 for 3 minutes. It's another reason why it's really popular for speedruns, is because speedruns generally only last 3 minutes or so. Then we have the Might Pill, which raises your base by a massive 25. However, it only lasts for 20 seconds. So this is going to be a fun one in like Monster Hunter Cross, or even 4U as well. If you notice a monster is being mounted, go ahead and pop a might pill before you go and whack and go crazy on the monster. Then we had the Demon Horn, which is your base plus 10 for 3 minutes, same as the Might Seed. And also the Demon Shot, if you're a boat gunner, that will raise one of your hunter's base plus 10. And finally we have a lesser known skill, which is called the Cool Cat. This is a skill that you get from the kitchen with eating a certain meal combination. If you choose the kickback gesture and do that, for 30 seconds you'll enjoy base plus 15. So this is another good one that if you just happen to have it active and another player has mounted a monster, go ahead and kick back and then get ready to do more damage. Now we just got done having a Mega Demon Drug, which is part of Group C, but this is Group D, so a Might Seed, which is base plus 10, will stack. So we go from 963 all the way up to 996. Again, this lasts for 3 minutes. We have the base plus 10. The Demon Horn also has the exact same effect as a Might Seed, but also it takes longer to do, but also gives it to all your other hunters as well. But because we already have a 3-minute base plus 10, we're not going to see any change, because they don't stack. Now the crazy awesome Might Pill, which is base plus 15, will work. So we're going to go ahead and have that and see what happens. It goes all the way up to 1046. Next, Group E is only the meal skill Feline Booster. This for 10 minutes will increase your base by plus 3. I believe it's also a defense boost of plus 10, so that's also really nice if you're into defensive skills. And then moving on to Group F. Group F is the armor skill of Attack Up. Attack Up S gives you base plus 10, M plus 15, Attack Up L is base plus 20, and the new awesome Attack Up XL is base plus 25. Now it's also worth noting that Home Blade is also part of this group, which is Attack Up L and Sharpness plus 1. So I didn't write it on here, but all the minus skills for Attack Up are also included into Group F, which is why if you have, let's say, minus Attack Up Large, it will be grayed out if you have Home Blade on, so it doesn't matter, because it's part of the same group and the strongest effect will override all the rest. So if you have Home Blade and you have some minus attack skill points, don't even worry about it. It's going to be overwritten anyways. Okay, moving on, Group G is Adrenaline plus 2 and Feline Heroics. Now Adrenaline plus 2 is a pretty crazy skill that would, for 15 points, if you go underneath 40% health, it will not only raise your defense, but also your attack power by 1.3 times. That's 30%, guys. That's not a base plus 30, that's 30% up, so that's pretty nuts. The meal skill Feline Heroics actually increases your attack by a whopping 35%, but it requires that you're under 10% health, which is like literally just a little smidge of health. So this is where you see some of the speedrunners, they'll do like small bombs and they'll do everything to get their health all the way down to just a smidget, and when they do that, then Feline Heroics will kick in. Now Adrenaline plus 2, you can still get hit and maybe not die, so a lot of people prefer that one over the Feline one. Okay, moving on, Group H is just the Hunting Horn, which is kind of nice. I like Group H, it's easy to remember, right? Hunting Horn, H. The Attack Up Small Song gives everybody attack 10% up, and if you encore that, it goes up to 15%. And then the awesome Attack Up Large Song for the Hunting Horn gives everybody who's in the area attack 15% up. And if you encore that, everyone gets a whopping 20% up. Again, this is percentage, it's not base. So if everybody in here had a Mega Demon Drug, drank a Might Seed, had Attack Up Large, and you played this Hunting Horn song, like people are going to be doing like double damage. It's going to be ridiculous. Group I is Fortitude, which happens like every time you die, your attack and your defense get increased. So Fortitude, the first time you die, it goes up by 10% attack. The second time you die, it actually increases your attack by 20%. One cool little trick is that when you're hunting in the Everwood, you can die over and over again. You don't get a third bonus for this one, but you can just go ahead and kill yourself twice and enjoy 20% up attack power for the entire hunt. Now, mind you, if you take too long to do this, the monster might run away, but it's still a nice thing to use Fortitude if you're having a hard time with, for example, the Savage Devil Joe in the Everwood. And finally, Group J, and this is one that a lot of people misunderstand because the mixed sets that give you Challenger plus 2 often have points that also give you Latent Power. and I see a lot of people mix these two, and you really shouldn't. Okay, so the way this one works for Group J is that the skills literally cancel out each other regardless of which one is more powerful. So at the very right is the very lowest one, which is Latent Power, and that gets overwritten by Peak Performance and also Prudence, because Prudence is just Peak Performance included. And that gets all overwritten by Challenger. So anytime you have Challenger active, you're not going to enjoy the benefits of Peak Performance or Latent Power. So let's cover the effects of these skills in case some of you don't know. So for Latent Power, there's two levels, Latent Power +1 and +2. The condition for activating this is either 5 minutes pass since you first encounter the monster, or you take 180 damage. Now 180 is like almost a full life bar, so you probably need to use a potion, but if you end up getting your butt kicked, this will kick in. +1 gives you an increase of 30% affinity, +2 gives you 50% affinity, and it also decreases the amount of stamina that you use. So it's a pretty nice effect. Peak Performance is a really easy one to understand. If at any time you're at full health and have no damage whatsoever, you will get the effect of Attack Up Large, which is base +20. So pretty darn powerful for gunners, which is why you see a lot of sets with Prudence. And Challenger +2, which is, in my opinion, probably the strongest skill in this entire game. For Challenger +1, what happens is that when a monster gets enraged or goes into a rage state, it gives you base +10, which is like the equivalent of Attack Up Small, and also an affinity boost of 10%. Challenger +2, which is where it's all at, if the monster gets upset, it gives you base +25, which is Attack Up Extra Large, and affinity +20%. Now mind you, back in Monster Hunter 3G, there was no Attack Up XL, so there was just L. So Challenger +2 back then gave you a base +20, but now it gives you base +25. So this thing is pretty stupidly powerful because if you notice, it's not in the same category as Attack Up Large, which means it stacks, which is crazy. So this is, again, it's a great skill. It's one of my favorite to use, especially when paired with Honed Blade. Okay, I have the Sadeghi's Hammer, which is 15% affinity. Latent Power kicks in, it goes all the way up to 65%. Latent Power is that nice little blue effect right here. Now watch what happens when I enrage the monster and Challenger kicks in. And now you notice the Latent Power is gone and we're down to 35% because I only get a 20% infinity increase from Challenger. And of course I do get Attack Up XL, which is insane. But the point is that Latent Power is not that easy to activate, and when it activates, you only have it for a set period of time. If Challenger becomes active at all during that point, it completely overrides it, which is why I encourage people, even if you have Latent Power +1 on your Honed Blade Challenger +2 set, don't waste the armor skill points to buff that up to Latent Power 2, because it really doesn't make a huge difference, at least in my opinion. As one final note, you'll notice that Critical Eye, which raises your affinity, is nowhere to be seen on this list, and that's because it's completely independent. It increases your infinity, but that increase will be applied no matter what skill you have active or what armor skill you have active as well. And that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not going to be doing a video on defense boosting because it's pretty much identical to attack. Just instead of the power talent, it's the defense talent. Instead of attack up large, it's defense up large, and so forth. Until next time, happy hunting.